When I was young, Comic-Cons were a safe space. You know, before we could kind of be public about the stuff that we were into without fear of getting judged or beaten up or whatever. Comic-Con's a safe space. I want Nerdist to be a safe space. It's sort of the Comic-Con iteration of our approach to pop culture. And so
Nerdist is a multimedia, multi-platform digital network.
we cover pop culture on the editorial side. We create video content. We have a YouTube channel with almost 1.5 million subscribers. We're one of only a few of the original YouTube-funded channels that's still standing and actually thrived. We do a daily news show called Nerdist News with Jessica Chobot.
We're talking Game of Thrones, and OK Go is here.
Neil's Puppet Dreams with Neil Patrick Harris. We made a show with Weird Al. We have a podcast network of 49 shows.
Everyone who works here is a big nerd and is a fan of the stuff that we're covering. So most of the editors have their own shows. So we have Nerdist Play with Malik Forte.
If I think this game is booty butt cheeks, I'm gonna tell you this game is booty butt cheeks.
Because Science with Kyle Hill looks at the sci-fi and the comic book stuff through a science lens. How does Iron Man's suit work? It's comedic, it's fun, it's silly, it's authentic, it's informative, it's nerdy.
Sort of like Sim City. The goal is to have this perfectly functioning civilization. We're just setting up little camps. We're setting up a camp in YouTube. We're setting up a camp in Twitch. We're setting up a camp on Nerdist.com and in podcasting and on television and hopefully movies and then live events and we're just trying to create arteries that connect everything and feed off of each other and help each other grow to this larger aggregate organism.
As a nerd, I am one of the luckiest guys in the universe. I get to come in here every day and work around people who are bigger nerds than I am in all aspects of the field.
Having nerd culture be pop culture, for all intents and purposes, is good. Last year, we got a Mad Max movie, we got a Star Wars movie, we got an Avengers movie. We got so much good stuff because of that. I was always obsessed with stand-up comedy, and I knew I wanted to go into television or performing or something. And I started working for MTV in 1994. They had me VJ for a summer, and then in the fall, we did a pilot for a show called Singled Out, which was, I guess I can say in retrospect, was a sort of a cultural phenomenon from 95 to 98. Then I foraged for scraps from 98 to 2001. In 2007, was having a very intense existential crisis about my life and my work, and I was really tired of depending on some executive getting me or not, or deciding if I was attractive enough, or famous enough, or this enough, or that enough. That's when I realized that I was chasing trends, chasing what everyone else wanted, and I hadn't really asked myself, what do I want to do? So that's what I did, and it turned things around almost instantaneously, because instead of chasing everything, I was very, very, very focused. So I started Nerdist. It was just the computer at my desk in my home. I wasn't doing it for anyone other than me, and so I was passionate about it. The creative process is long and difficult, and it can be very unsexy, because you're just trying stuff you don't know. The only reason that you would continue to do that and make something well is if you really genuinely cared about it and were largely doing it for yourself. And that's kind of what we do here.
Nerdist is a positive place. It's definitely a community. It's a place where we celebrate and champion the things that we love. Obviously, we are critical of the things that we love, but in a constructive way. The podcasts operate pretty independently, but are always a part of the Nerdist voice.
Called up two of my friends on a Thursday, Matt Meyer and Jonah Ray, and I said, I want to start a podcast this weekend, and I don't care if anyone listens to it. We're just going to do it. It's going to be for us, if nothing else. So we went over, recorded on a Sunday, we put it up on a Monday, and it's been going up ever since.
When you have such a strong point of view about what you want to do, and then you have this amazing team of actors, how collaborative is it with them? What are you taking to them, and what are they bringing to you?
For the most part, the script is the script. And so we're all working from the same page.
I think what I realized pretty quickly is that podcasts are actually the most engaging form of media that there is. When you think about how someone listens to a podcast, they generally put it in their ears, so it's inside their head. I think 100,000 podcast listeners are worth 1 million TV viewers because people form real emotional attachments to them. You listen to a podcast during your lowest times, during your highest times, when you're at work, when you're on public transportation, treadmill. It's like it accompanies you and you feel like you're a fly on the wall and you really attach to it. The volume of really in-depth conversations and understanding what people are like. Marin getting Obama was huge for every podcaster. Podcasting is a thing a president would do. It's a renaissance of really solid quality entertainment. I never wanted to be like a business guy, you know. I like comedy and entertainment. I like making stuff. That's where my heart is. And so I partnered with this guy named Peter Levin in mid to late 2011. He sort of took over the business stuff and I was able to stay focused on the creative stuff and we grew it up. And in his company, Geek Chic Daily, Thomas Tull was one of the investors. We were really growing very rapidly and it seemed like, you know, I feel like we really need some infrastructure to scale up. We need like a more powerful exoskeleton here.
Legendary is an entertainment studio. It started out financing and producing motion pictures, and over the last 10 years has gotten itself into a number of other businesses, such as they're now in the television business and the comic books business.
Legendary was a big, small company. The vibe of Legendary was exactly what we were doing. It was fan-driven content. They would love Godzilla, so they made a Godzilla movie, you know? Because Thomas was already involved, it just made sense.
When I came in, Nerdist was the only property that existed within Legendary for the digital side of things. Over the next year, we acquired 2 other companies, one being Geek and Sundry, which was Felicia Day's digital channel, and Amy Poehler's Smart Girls, which obviously is Amy Poehler's channel. Once we had all 3 of those together, it made sense to think about an umbrella organization that really comprised all of them. So at that point, we created Legendary Digital Networks, which is in a sense the holding company for all 3 of those channels, and operates much more like a cable type business where you have multiple channels under the same brand, like a Viacom or Discovery. So we've used that organization to basically consolidate some assets, scale up resources, and provide a little bit more opportunities to each of those channels than they could provide on their own. The Wanda Group, they are primarily a real estate company. As far as I know, well over $120 billion valuation of a company. Own AMC theaters here in the US, have a stake in some other theaters around the world, and I think exploring kind of a vision of how to expand on their media business globally. We're still in the process of figuring out exactly what that means for us, but we're looking forward to exploring what the opportunities might be created from the scope and reach of what they have to offer.
I don't know if Nerdist is the future of how content is going to be produced as a whole. I mean, I know where I want to see us in the future. I would rather have Nerdist be stronger than any one platform because it's rapidly changing. We don't know what's going to happen in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, how people are going to be getting content. But if people see the Nerdist logo on anything, I want them to go, oh, I know what that is, and I like that. We don't do market research. We're part of our demographic, which I think is really important. We are in the demographic of the stuff we're making. And we just say, what do we like, what do we want to see, and what do we care about? And that's it.